99.5% of the water we do drink, or do produce, is not drunk. Only 0.5% of the water is actually ingested. And that means the cost of putting the hydrofluorosilicic acid into the drinking water supply, 99.5% of that cost is wasted.
I also have a very big concern with the source and treated water quality issues, because 99% of the fluoride that's put in the water is not consumed. We only drink about 1% of the water that is produced at the treatment facility. The rest goes down the pipe to the wastewater treatment facility and back into the receiving stream, which is the Grand River. So the net benefit here is really, why don't we just take 99% of the fluoridating chemical and run it right into the Grand River and call that a spill, because that's essentially what we're doing. And that just makes the fluoride level in the Grand River and its receiving stream, Lake Erie, that much greater. And what we're seeing is a slow increase over the 60 years of fluoridation of the levels of fluoride in the lakes. We already have a level that's double now in Lake Ontario than the National Water Quality Guideline for fluoride in that body of water. This is Thunder Bay did something last year. They were contemplating fluoridation. They had their plant chemist do a test, and their plant chemist came up with this statement. It's in the package, so I'm not going to deliberate on it. We have arsenic and lead in the fluorosilicates, and this is out of a treatment magazine from 2000, that the single largest source of arsenic that we're putting into the water, even though it's below levels, is attributed to fluoride addition.
In Ontario, I've calculated that the average concentration in drinking water, which is between 0.5 and 0.8 parts per million, in an average community that fluoridates, will generate just less than 1 pound of fluoridated waste per person being returned back to the natural environment through the sewer system from the water that does not get consumed, but just gets passed through in a year. In other words, you can take your population and you can say roughly 1 pound per person per year is going to be the waste load of the fluoride and those co-contaminants back into your local watershed or water supply for the downstream community.
Hydrofluorosilicic acid is an extremely dangerous and deadly chemical that's used in Austin. There was no mention, for example, of the material safety data sheets of how dangerous this chemical is. Number two is the fact that hydrofluorosilicic acid is also one of the most dangerous chemicals transported in Austin if there were to be a serious accident and a breaching of the container on the highway or the city streets. And a lot of people don't know the hazards associated with a spill and a breaching of one of these tankers that goes right through the city of Austin and to the treatment plants.
First tonight, hazmat crews from all across our area responded to a chemical leak this afternoon in Rock Island. The chemical was so strong that it was burning through the concrete there. News 8's Christy Mergenthal has the latest.
It was just before 1 o'clock Thursday afternoon when hazmat crews were called to the Rock Island Water Treatment Plant for a chemical spill coming from this tanker truck.
It's a corrosive agent that the water treatment plant uses, and there was an overflow that caused spillage out from the building onto this driveway behind me.
As plant employees evacuated, crews began suiting up, working quickly to stop the leak that had begun eating through concrete.
They stopped the leak using some earthen berms with dirt, sand, and some commercial boom equipment, and had it contained pretty much to this facility within a short amount of time.
The chemical hydrofluorosilicic acid is used to add fluoride to the plant's water. Although it poses a burn risk to skin, those living nearby were in no immediate danger.
There's no inhalation hazard at all, so there was no need for us to evacuate any residents around the area.
After several hours, crews were able to clean up the leak, allowing operations to return to normal.
They had to cordon off the area, obviously, but as far as the treatment of the water and the amount of water being used by the public, there's no effect on that at all.
In Rock Island, Christy Mergenthal, WQAD Quad Cities, News 8.
Thank you, Christy. Investigators tonight still haven't given an official estimate on just how much of that chemical spilled out.
Dennis, let's make sure we're clear on this. Fluoride, it is in tea, it's in coffee, it's in water, it's in bread, it's in toothpaste, but it's actually a poison, right?
It sure is, and here's the quickest evidence. Go to your bathroom and pick up your toothpaste, and you'll see a warning that if a child swallows more than a pea-sized amount of toothpaste, call poison control.
Thankfully, aside from having it removed entirely from a drinking water supply, there are many ways to remove harmful elements from drinking water and avoid fluoride consumption. Many companies are now offering fluoride-free toothpaste, and there are also several recipes online which explain how to make your own all-natural organic fluoride-free toothpaste. There are also many devices which can be purchased that assist in removing contaminants from drinking water, such as reverse osmosis units and water distillers. All are quite effective in removing undesirable elements from your drinking water.
This is a water distiller that we have in the middle here, which I'm pointing to. It's £150. I bought it online from www.h2olabs.co.uk, and I had to pay £20 delivery. And basically it cleans water. So you put dirty water inside. You take this bit off the top, this black bit comes off, and the metal bit is hollow inside. You put your dirty water in there, so whether it's tap water, pond water, anything you want, and it distills it, and it's doing it at the moment. You can see the clean water dropping out into this container here, and gives you the closest you're going to get to pure H2O. It's like 99.9999%, I think it says on the website. So this is the best way to clean water, to ensure that you've got any kind of contaminants or anything that might be harmful out of it. The dirty water is heated to its boiling point, so by boiling it, it's killing any organisms or any bacteria or anything like that. The steam is then sterile and it rises up to the top. There's a fan at the top here, and as it cools it down, instead of it falling back down here, it goes through this complicated channel system and comes down and out through the spout here, and then it's collected in the container. It goes through a charcoal filter in here, which changes the flavour, which makes it taste a bit nicer, so it's not so chemically, because pure H2O is a bit chemically. And then you've got your warm water in here, and because it's warm, it's better to do it overnight. It takes about 5 hours to do a whole gallon of water, and if you do it overnight, the water cools down as well, so you wake up in the morning and it's nice and cool. I was being medicated, like whether I liked it or not, it wasn't down to me, so I just kind of wanted to take control really, so I bought this. The reason for this video is I'm actually going to show you the crap that's left over, so you can actually see what you are actually drinking, because you can't see it when it's in when you've got it in water and you're drinking it, but when I show you what's left off in here, you'll actually see what you're actually passing through your body. It might make you think about it in with a bit more kind of concern. Okay, so the fan's now stopped, so it's finished, and as you can see, this is full, and we had to wait about half an hour because there would have been lots of steam inside. So we're going to open it up now, and I'm going to show you what's inside. Right, there's all the steam coming out. Okay, I'm just going to turn this off, unplug these things. Smell that? Can you smell it?
Oh, that is disgusting.
It's horrible, isn't it? It's gunk in here. Well, I've got a spoon. We'll stick it in and have a look, and then I'll scrape it out. Can you actually see that? Is there enough light?
It's not really enough light. Wait.
I'll tell you what, I'll move it over here and I'll scrape it out.
Turn on this side.
Right, let's go over here. Oh shit. That's disgusting. Right, that's better. Now look, can you see that?
That's disgusting.
That's disgusting. Now, basically, this is 4 cycles. This isn't from one cycle. I did 4 lots. to get some of it out. Right. What is this crap? And would you eat it? Look at it. It's disgusting. It's like, it's horrible. Can you see in there?
Yeah.
It's disgusting, isn't it?
That is quite rank.
So yeah, I think I'm going to put this in like a petri dish or something and go down the local council and say, hey up, what's going on with this?
With the issue of fluoridation, the subject is so highly colored and biased by the proponents of fluoridation, mainly the medical dental lobby, spearheaded in Ontario by groups like the Medical Officer of Health and the Chief Medical Officer of Health for Ontario. These people locally have been instructed by somebody provincially to hold the fort, don't give up on a public health policy, even though we don't have sufficient proof that it is safe for people to ingest hydrofluorosilicic acid, because there haven't been any health studies done, and or that hydrofluorosilicic acid is the fluoridation compound that can prevent dental decay when ingested. We don't have any of those studies.
If you don't look, you don't find. They would like to imply, because they don't see anything, there's nothing wrong. But if they're not looking, they won't find. You often hear the promoters say things like, oh, we've been doing this for 60 years, and if there's any problem, we would know about it by now. Oh, no, you wouldn't, unless you were doing the studies.
So when council is presented with this dilemma, they have to choose between believing the white-coated expert that is handed over to them from the province, or individual citizens that have taken it upon themselves to inform themselves. And most councils will tend to go with the status quo. Most municipal councils are well-meaning individuals chosen from the population by the people with the idea that they're going to perform the best possible job they can for their municipalities. That's the idea. The reality is that many municipal councillors are inundated with reams of information they have to go through before they go to a council meeting, and then get asked to vote on it. And hopefully they have done their research enough to be able to make an informed vote.